Yo, what is going on, guys? Today I'm going to show you how I made the Optimum keyboard at least 10 times better by upgrading it with the GT60 PCB from Gateron. If you've been eyeing the Optimum case from Wooting or thinking about upgrading your keyboard but have noticed all of these new Hall effect keyboards popping up that promise faster performance than the somewhat outdated 60HE, this video is definitely for you. All you need for this upgrade is the newly released GT60 PCB from Gateron. I'll be building mine from scratch, but if you already have a 60HE, you can reuse a lot of the parts, like the switches, keycaps and case, making this a straightforward yet impactful upgrade. We'll break down the build process, talking about why this PCB is a fantastic upgrade, and of course wrap up with a satisfying sound test. So let's dive in. The Gateron GT60 PCB is a game changer for 60% keyboard enthusiasts, offering a solid set of features for those looking to enhance their build's performance. It's a tray-mounted PCB, meaning it fits perfectly into the Optimum case or any other cases that support the Wooting 60HE PCB. This makes it a straightforward hardware upgrade if you're looking to improve the performance of your board without having to buy a new case, switches or keycaps. This PCB has a ton of advantages in my opinion. Just like the Wooting module, the GT60 comes pre-assembled with a plate and stabilizers, which in my opinion is a huge time saver. You don't have to worry about installing the steps or the plate, you just have to drop it into your new case, add your switches and keycaps and you're basically good to go. Now, a key thing to note, the GT60 uses Hall effect switches just like the Wooting 60HE. This means it doesn't support traditional mechanical switches, instead it relies on magnetic based sensing for ultra fast actuation, as well as adjustable actuation points, which can give you that competitive edge in both typing and gaming since there's practically no delay. And earlier I've said that the GT60 is going to be a hardware upgrade for your Wooting, since you're basically swapping out the brain of your keyboard. And these upgrades are quite significant in my opinion. It has a polling rate of 8000 Hz and a key scan rate of 32,000 Hz across the entire keys, which massively outpaces the 1000 Hz of the Wooting 60HE. This means your inputs are registered faster and more stable, potentially giving you a competitive edge in fast-paced games. And honestly, I think while using it, the difference is quite noticeable. It also uses AI to optimize key inputs, which is used to reduce latency and again improve the overall responsiveness. The PCB is also water resistant with a protective coating that guards it against accidental spills of coffee, soda, water and more. However, the USB-C port itself isn't waterproof, so you definitely have to be more careful there. Unlike the Wooting's north-facing LEDs, the GT60 features south-facing RGB lighting, which reduces interference with many popular keycap and switch combinations, making it a safer choice if you like to swap out your keycaps off. And just like the Wooting, it also offers a web-based software, which isn't the prettiest but gets the job done, I guess. You can set up rapid trigger as low as 0.01mm, set up SOCD, set up different lightning presets, choose if you're using Mac or Windows, decide for a polling rate up to 8000 Hz and update your PCB's firmware. Together, these features make the GT60 one of the most advanced PCBs on the market right now, and I think it should be your choice until Wooting drops their 60HE V2. So first, let's talk about the case choice. I'm using the Optimum case here, which pairs perfectly with the GT60. This case was designed with the Wooting 60HE in mind, so it's a natural fit for this upgrade. It has a solid minimalistic design that just looks and feels great on the desk. But obviously you don't have to use the Optimum case, you can literally use all the cases that fit the Wooting 60HE, like the stock case, the Alumaze, Tofu, Holy and whatever. Now onto the actual build. Because the GT60 comes pre-assembled with a plate and stabilizers, this part is as simple as aligning it correctly and screwing it back in. However, I took this a step further and swapped out the aluminum plate for a Black POM Plate from the Toronto keyboard man. It's part of a modding kit designed for the Wooting 60HE, and since it has the same standoff placements, it fits perfectly with the GT60 PCB. It also comes with a bunch of foams, however I didn't use those and instead decided to install the friction fit pad that comes with the Optimum case, so we don't even need to screw down the PCB and get a much cleaner sound. I've also decided to re-loop the stabilizers because the loop job on this PCB wasn't that great. For switches, you will need to use compatible Hall effect switches like these Jade Rubies, or again those that fit the Wooting. I decided to use the Jade Ruby switches from Gateron since they probably are the best sounding and feeling switches Gateron has to offer, and most obviously since these switches are from Gateron as well as the PCB, we are granted to have the best compatibility and performance possible. Next, I then added my keycaps, which I went with the FBB keycaps, and I was honestly surprised by the quality of these keycaps, especially for such a small small amount of money. They are fairly thick, have a clean print and nice vibrant colors, and I think they match the Optimum case perfectly. And that's it. We've just finished building an actual monster keyboard, so I think it's time for the sound test. Overall, I'm really impressed with how this build turned out, and I think it feels amazing to type on. I really like those Jade Ruby switches. They are a bit on the heavier side, but personally I think that's fire. If you're looking to breathe new life into your Wooting 60HE board or just want a high quality 60% build, I think the GT60 is a fantastic choice. It's an easy swap that significantly elevates the functionality and flexibility of your keyboard. Plus, with all the customization options out there, you can really make this build your own. Anyway, thanks for watching, and if you found this video to be helpful, or if you enjoyed the keyboard sound test, let me know in the comments down below. I would appreciate if you could subscribe and maybe like this video. So see you in the next one. Peace.